Hey, loving listeners. Welcome back to Mind-Blowing Motive, the place where your thinking gets sharper, your dreams get clearer, and your mind becomes your greatest weapon. Today, we're diving into something that can completely change the way you handle life. How to become a great problem solver. Think about it. Every single day, life throws challenges at us. Some are tiny, like a missed bus, and some feel massive, like a dream slipping away or a heart being broken. But here's the truth. Life isn't about avoiding problems. It's about learning how to solve them smartly, calmly, and confidently. Great problem solvers aren't born. They're built through experience, mindset, and the courage to face challenges without fear. You see, every successful person you admire, from scientists and inventors to leaders and creators, had one secret in common. They didn't panic when problems came. They paused, they thought, they acted. They knew that every problem hides a solution, and every solution hides a lesson. In this video, I'm going to share 10 powerful mind tricks for instant solutions. Lessons that will not only make you smarter, but also emotionally stronger. These are not theories. They're real-life skills that can help you see problems differently, think faster, and live with clarity. So, if you've ever felt stuck, lost, or frustrated by life's endless puzzles, stay with me till the end, because by the time we finish, you'll no longer run from problems, you'll rise above them. Point 1. Train your mind to stay calm under pressure. When a problem hits you suddenly, maybe you lost an opportunity, someone disappointed you, or things didn't go as planned, your first reaction is usually panic. Your heart races, your thoughts scatter, and your emotions take control. But here's the truth. When emotions rise, intelligence falls. You can't solve anything when your mind is screaming. That's why the first and most powerful skill of every great problem solver is mental calmness. Think about it. Storms don't last forever, but they do test your balance. The same happens with your mind. When you stay calm, you can see the storm clearly. Where it's heading, how strong it is, and where the safe path lies. Most people make their problems worse by reacting too fast. They rush, they blame, they overthink. And that panic closes the door to smart solutions. But those who breathe, pause, and center their thoughts unlock a new kind of power. The power to think rationally while the world goes chaotic. Let me tell you something emotional but real. Calmness is not weakness. It's inner strength disguised as silence. It's that quiet voice inside saying, "I got this." And that one mindset can turn a disaster into a breakthrough. When your brain is calm, you can connect the dots faster, understand people better, and take smarter actions. So next time you face a challenge, don't rush to react. Take a deep breath. Count to 5. Remind yourself, I'm still in control. Because the moment you choose calmness over chaos, your brain starts to open doors that panic would have kept locked forever. Great problem solvers don't fight their emotions. They manage them. And that's where true problem solving begins. Point 2. Shift your focus from problems to possibilities. Most people stay trapped in their problems because all they can see is what went wrong. They replay the failure, the loss, or the pain again and again, hoping somehow that thinking about it will fix it. But it never does. The more you focus on the problem, the more power you give it. The secret is simple. Stop feeding your problem and start feeding your possibilities. Great problem solvers don't waste time asking, "Why did this happen to me?" They ask, "What can I do next?" That one change in question flips everything. Instead of drowning in negativity, you start to search for options, for lessons, for doors you didn't notice before. Every challenge carries hidden opportunities, but only for those who choose to look for them. Let's make it real. Imagine you lose your job. Most people would panic, complain, or feel broken. But a true problem solver pauses and asks, "What new door just opened for me?" Maybe it's time to start something of your own. Maybe you'll find a job that values your talent more. Maybe this is the universe pushing you toward your real path. When your focus shifts, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, your results change. Remember, your brain is a problem-solving machine. Whatever you tell it to find, it will find. If you say, "Everything is going wrong," your brain will show you 10 more reasons why it's true. But if you say, "There has to be a way," your brain starts scanning for possibilities. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you start seeing things you couldn't before. The difference between people who get stuck and those who grow isn't the size of the problem. It's the size of their focus. Focus creates reality. Whatever you focus on expands. So, if you want better outcomes, focus on what you can create, not what you can't control. There's something powerful and emotional about this truth. Life isn't trying to stop you. It's trying to train you. Every time you face a setback, life is whispering. Look beyond the pain, find the purpose. But most people never hear that whisper because they're too busy shouting at their problems. So train yourself to shift your mental lens. When something bad happens, don't say, "This is the end." Say, "This is my new beginning." That one thought can completely change how you react, how you think, and what decisions you make next. You see, every problem has two sides, one that breaks you and one that builds you. The side you focus on decides who you become. Focus on pain, and you'll feel powerless. Focus on growth, and you'll feel unstoppable. So, the next time you're stuck, don't keep staring at the wall. Turn around. There's always another door. You just need to look in the right direction. That's how great problem solvers think. They don't wait for perfect situations. They create powerful shifts in their mind. They don't let fear blind them. They let curiosity guide them. And that mindset is what turns an ordinary person into an extraordinary problem solver. Point 3. Embrace failure as your greatest teacher. Here's a truth that most people never fully understand. Failure isn't the enemy. Fear of failure is. Every time you avoid a problem because you're afraid of making mistakes, you're telling your mind that comfort is more important than growth. But if you want to become a great problem solver, you need to flip that mindset. You must see failure not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone to mastery. Think about it. Every inventor, every entrepreneur, every genius you admire has a trail of failures behind them. Thomas Edison tried thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Each attempt wasn't a defeat. It was a clue, a lesson, a piece of the puzzle. Imagine if he had given up after the first 100 tries. The world would be darker today, literally. The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who stays stuck is not luck. It's how they respond to failure. Emotionally, it's hard. Nobody likes to feel like they've messed up. It hurts. Your pride wants to defend itself. But here's the secret. Pain is the signpost pointing to growth. Every setback carries wisdom. Every mistake whispers, "Try this differently next time." When you embrace it, when you welcome it as part of the learning process, your brain starts to see solutions where before it only saw dead ends. Let's make this personal. Maybe you tried to start a project and it failed. Maybe someone didn't support your dream. Maybe your best efforts didn't bring results. Most people dwell on regret, replaying the what-ifs in their mind. But a true problem solver says, "Thank you, life, for showing me what doesn't work. Now I can find what does." That small shift turns frustration into focus, despair into determination, and mistakes into stepping stones. Here's the emotional core. Failure is not rejection, it's redirection. It's life's way of saying, "I see your effort, now try a smarter path." The sooner you adopt this mindset, the sooner your problems start turning into opportunities. The sooner you stop fearing mistakes, the faster your brain starts generating solutions that you couldn't see before. So remember, every failure is not your enemy. Every failed attempt is a teacher in disguise. Learn from it, honor it, and let it fuel your growth. Great problem solvers don't run from mistakes. They chase the lesson hidden inside them. And that's how your mind transforms challenges into victories. Point 4. Break problems into smaller, manageable pieces. One of the biggest mistakes people make when facing challenges is looking at the problem as a giant, unmovable mountain. They see it as one massive, scary obstacle and immediately feel overwhelmed. Their heart races, their mind panics, and they freeze. But here's the truth that can completely change the game. No problem is too big if you break it down into smaller parts. Imagine you're trying to solve a complex issue at work, or maybe a personal challenge that feels impossible. Instead of thinking, "How will I ever fix this?" stop for a moment and ask yourself, "What is the very first small step I can take right now?" That's the power of breaking a problem into pieces. Each small piece feels achievable, and with every step, you gain clarity, confidence, and momentum. Emotionally, this method is freeing. When problems feel massive, fear and stress take over. But when you divide them, each step becomes a victory. You begin to see progress, even if it's just tiny. And those tiny victories build emotional resilience, the kind that makes you unstoppable in the face of future challenges. Let me tell you a secret about great problem solvers. They rarely attack a problem head-on as a whole. Instead, they dissect it like a puzzle. They ask questions like, which part can I fix first? What is most urgent? Which pieces depend on each other? This methodical approach not only reduces stress, but it also opens the door to creative solutions that were invisible when the problem seemed too big. Here's the emotional heart of it. Every mountain can be climbed, but you don't climb it in one leap. You take one step at a time. Each step matters. Each small solution brings you closer to conquering the whole challenge. By the time you reach the summit, you've transformed fear into courage, confusion into clarity, and obstacles into achievements. So, the next time you face a problem that seems overwhelming, stop staring at the mountain and start stepping on the stones. Break it down. Solve it piece by piece. And watch how your mind, calm and focused, turns what once felt impossible into a path of success. This is the mindset that separates ordinary thinkers from extraordinary problem solvers. Point 5. Ask the right questions. not just any questions. Here's a truth that most people overlook. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your solutions. Many of us react to problems by asking questions like, "Why me?" or "How did this happen?" These questions, while natural, don't lead anywhere. They keep you stuck in blame, regret, and frustration. If you want to become a great problem solver, you must learn to ask the right questions. Questions that lead your mind toward action, clarity, and possibilities. Think about it. When faced with a challenge, instead of asking, "Why is this so hard?" ask, "What can I do right now to improve the situation?" Instead of thinking, "Who is to blame?" ask, "What is the lesson hidden here, and how can I use it?" The first type of question keeps your mind trapped in negativity. The second type opens doors. It turns problems into puzzles, and your brain loves puzzles. It starts looking for solutions, seeing patterns, and connecting dots that weren't visible before. Emotionally, asking the right questions is empowering. It gives you control when the situation feels chaotic. It shifts your energy from helplessness to hope, from confusion to curiosity. It reminds you that no matter how tough a problem is, you always have the power to act intelligently and strategically. Let me share a secret. Every great leader, inventor, or problem solver you admire didn't just react to challenges. They questioned intelligently. They dissected problems with questions like, "What is the simplest way to solve this?" Or, "What am I missing?" These questions fuel creativity, open new perspectives, and often reveal solutions hidden in plain sight. Here's the emotional core. Life isn't about having all the answers. Life is about asking questions that guide you to the answers. Every problem becomes smaller, every challenge more manageable, and every obstacle transforms into an opportunity when your mind is trained to question wisely. So start today. Pause before reacting to any problem. Ask yourself the questions that lead to clarity and action. Ask the questions that spark curiosity and uncover hidden solutions. This one habit, asking the right questions, is what separates ordinary thinkers from extraordinary problem solvers. And remember, your mind becomes exactly as powerful as the questions you feed it. Point 6. Think creatively, not conventionally. Here's something deeply emotional but powerful. Most problems in life cannot be solved by the usual methods. The moment you face a challenge, your brain naturally leans toward old patterns, habits, and solutions that have worked before. But here's the truth. What got you here won't necessarily get you there. If you want to become a great problem solver, you must train your mind to think creatively, to look beyond the obvious, and to embrace ideas that feel unconventional. Think about it for a moment. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came not from following the rules, but from questioning them. Einstein imagined riding alongside a beam of light. Jobs and Wozniak built a company in a garage when everyone else said it was impossible. Every extraordinary solution came from a mind willing to step outside comfort zones and challenge conventional thinking. Emotionally, creative thinking is liberating. When you stop being trapped by the "this is how it's done" mentality, your mind feels free, curious, and alive. You start seeing multiple paths where before there seemed to be only one. Every problem transforms from a wall into a playground, a challenge into a canvas. And that emotional freedom fuels your ability to solve problems quickly and effectively. Let me share a real-life perspective. Imagine you're stuck with a personal conflict or a work challenge. Most people would respond with the first solution that comes to mind. But a creative problem solver asks, what if I tried something no one expected? Or, what if the rules don't apply here? That small shift, daring to imagine beyond the obvious, often leads to solutions that not only solve the problem, but also create opportunities and advantages that others never see. Here's the emotional depth. Creativity isn't just about being smart. It's about courage. It's the courage to fail, to experiment, to make mistakes, and to see every attempt as a lesson rather than a setback. When you allow yourself this mindset, problems stop feeling like threats. They become challenges your mind actually enjoys tackling. Great problem solvers combine logic with imagination. They use facts, data, and experience as the foundation, but then they build something extraordinary on top of it using curiosity and creative thinking. They see connections between unrelated ideas, imagine solutions before they exist, and find paths that others would consider impossible. So, if you want to master problem solving, start asking yourself, what are all the ways this problem could be solved, even the crazy ones? Give yourself permission to explore, to brainstorm, to imagine solutions that may seem unusual at first. Your brain will respond by generating ideas you never thought existed. Remember, ordinary thinking produces ordinary results. Extraordinary thinking produces extraordinary solutions. And the difference between being stuck in frustration and moving toward victory often comes down to one thing: your willingness to think differently. Your mind is a tool, but it's also a playground. Feed it creativity, and it will surprise you. Feed it fear and limitation, and it will only show walls. Choose curiosity over doubt. Choose imagination over panic. Choose to see possibilities instead of obstacles. So today, make a promise to yourself. When a problem arises, don't immediately reach for the usual answer. Pause. Imagine. Explore. Dare to be unconventional. Because the solutions you find in that space of creativity will not only solve the problem, but will also transform you into a thinker who can conquer any challenge life throws your way. Creative thinking is not just a skill, it's a superpower. And the more you practice it, the more your brain rewires itself to see opportunities instead of problems, paths instead of walls, and solutions instead of dead ends. This is the mindset that separates ordinary thinkers from extraordinary problem solvers. And when you combine this with calmness, focus, the right questions, and lessons from failure, your mind becomes unstoppable. You stop running from problems. You start mastering them. Every problem has a solution waiting for a mind willing to explore, willing to imagine, and willing to break free from the ordinary. That's how creative thinking transforms challenges into triumphs, struggles into lessons, and obstacles into gateways to success. So, the next time life throws a challenge at you, ask yourself, how can I solve this in a way no one else has thought of? Let your imagination guide you. Let curiosity fuel you. And watch how your mind turns even the toughest problems into stepping stones toward your growth, your success, and your extraordinary life. This is the power of thinking creatively. And it's a habit that every great problem solver cultivates every single day. Point 7. Learn to see problems from multiple perspectives. Here's a truth that's both simple and life-changing. How you see a problem determines how you solve it. Most people approach challenges with a single perspective, their own. They focus on their own frustration, their own pain, and their own limitations. And when you see only one side, you feel trapped. The problem seems huge, unsolvable, and overwhelming. But here's the secret of great problem solvers. They train themselves to step outside themselves and see problems from multiple angles. Imagine a conflict at work, a disagreement with a friend, or a setback in your personal life. If you see it only through your own lens, your mind immediately reacts with judgment, fear, or anger. But if you ask yourself, what does the other person see? Or, how would someone else approach this? You suddenly open doors to solutions that were invisible before. This is not just logic, it's empathy, curiosity, and creativity working together. Emotionally, this approach is freeing. When you understand other perspectives, you stop feeling cornered. You stop blaming and panicking. You start seeing options. You begin to understand that the problem isn't just a wall in front of you. It's a puzzle that can be solved if you look at it from the right angles. And this emotional clarity is powerful because fear and stress disappear when your mind recognizes that there is always more than one way forward. Let me make this real. Think of a misunderstanding with someone close to you. If you only focus on your hurt or frustration, you react defensively, and the situation escalates. But if you pause and try to see the problem from their side, you might notice motives, pressures, or fears you hadn't considered. Suddenly, the solution becomes clear. A small adjustment in your words or actions can dissolve tension, repair the relationship, and even create stronger bonds. Great problem solvers do this intuitively. They ask questions like, "What am I missing?" Or, "What would an outsider think?" Or, "If I were the other person, how would I solve this?" This perspective-shifting habit transforms challenges into opportunities. It reduces frustration, accelerates clarity, and creates solutions that are smarter, fairer, and more lasting. Here's the emotional core. Life is rarely black and white. Most problems have shades, layers, and hidden factors. When you see only your side, you miss the whole picture. But when you train yourself to look from different viewpoints, your brain starts to notice patterns, connections, and possibilities that ordinary thinking would never reveal. It's like turning on a 360-degree camera in a dark room. Suddenly, the whole space is visible, and the solution is right in front of you. This skill also builds emotional intelligence, which is just as crucial as logic and problem solving. When you understand others, you communicate better, negotiate smarter, and make decisions that lead to long-term success rather than short-term fixes. Your problems stop being battles. They become challenges that teach you wisdom, patience, and resilience. So here's the promise. If you start looking at problems from multiple perspectives, your mind becomes faster, smarter, and more flexible. You'll stop feeling stuck, and you'll start seeing solutions everywhere. You'll realize that even the hardest challenges carry lessons, opportunities, and paths that you couldn't have imagined before. Remember, a problem solved from one angle may seem impossible, but seen from another, it becomes a stepping stone. That's the mindset that separates ordinary thinkers from extraordinary problem solvers. The ability to shift perspective, expand awareness, and see what others overlook. So today, make it a habit. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, am I seeing the full picture? Could there be another angle I'm missing? The answers you uncover might just change not only how you solve this problem, but also how you approach every challenge in your life. The most remarkable part? This skill doesn't just solve problems. It transforms you. It makes you more patient, more empathetic, more resilient, and more capable of navigating life's unpredictable twists. And when you combine this with calmness, creative thinking, asking the right questions, and learning from failure, your mind becomes unstoppable. Problems don't scare you anymore. They excite you, challenge you, and guide you toward growth and mastery. This is how perspective transforms ordinary problem solving into extraordinary problem mastery. A skill that can shape your life, your relationships, and your future in ways you never thought possible. Point 8. Take decisive action. Don't wait for perfection. Here's a truth that hits deep. Indecision is one of the biggest killers of progress. Most people spend too much time analyzing, overthinking, or waiting for the perfect moment. They want all the pieces in place before they act. But life rarely offers perfection. Problems keep coming, and the clock keeps ticking. Great problem solvers understand this. Action beats hesitation every single time. Think about it. You can plan, strategize, and imagine solutions endlessly. But if you never act, the problem doesn't go away. In fact, waiting often makes it worse. Opportunities fade, situations escalate, and the stress multiplies. But decisive action, even if imperfect at first, starts the momentum. Once you take one step, clarity follows, adjustments become easier, and solutions start to appear naturally. Emotionally, action is empowering. It takes you out of the trap of fear and overthinking and puts you into a state of control. When you act, your mind sees progress. Even small wins give you confidence. Your energy shifts from worry and frustration to focus and determination. That emotional boost is contagious. It fuels more action, more creativity, and more solutions. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine you're stuck on a work project that feels too complex. You think, I need more information, more tools, more time. Days pass, stress rises. The problem seems bigger than ever. Now imagine instead, you decide, I'll start with the first step I know. You act, you test, you adjust. Suddenly the path becomes clear. What seemed impossible before starts unfolding one step at a time. That's the power of decisive action. Great problem solvers don't wait for perfect conditions. They understand that action reveals information that analysis alone cannot. They know that mistakes made in motion are far more valuable than perfect plans that remain on paper. Every decision, every attempt, every small movement pushes the problem closer to resolution. Here's the emotional core. Hesitation creates anxiety. Action creates hope. When you act, you take control of your situation rather than letting the situation control you. Each step forward, no matter how small, transforms fear into courage, doubt into clarity, and chaos into progress. This doesn't mean reckless action. It means smart, informed, and bold action. It means weighing options but committing to move. It means understanding that progress is built on movement, not perfection. Life rewards those who act, not those who wait. And every successful person you admire took imperfect action repeatedly until their results became undeniable. So, when faced with a problem, ask yourself, what is the first step I can take right now? Don't wait for perfect timing, perfect resources, or perfect knowledge. Take action with what you have, and trust that your mind will adapt, learn, and guide you toward the next step. Momentum builds solutions. Movement creates clarity. Action uncovers answers that hesitation never will. Emotionally, this approach transforms you. It shifts your mindset from fear to possibility. It replaces anxiety with purpose. It reminds you that you are capable, resourceful, and strong. And when you combine decisive action with calmness, perspective, creativity, and the right questions, your problem-solving ability becomes unstoppable. Remember this: problems don't wait, and neither should you. Every moment you hesitate is a moment lost. Every moment you act, even imperfectly, is a moment gained. A step closer to clarity, resolution, and growth. Life favors those who move forward, even when they feel unsure. Great problem solvers don't wait for the stars to align. They take the first step, then adjust along the way, trusting that the path will reveal itself. So today, make this a habit. When faced with a challenge, pause just long enough to assess, then act decisively. Move forward. Take that first step, no matter how small. Because once you act, the problem stops controlling you and you start controlling your life. That's the mindset that separates ordinary thinkers from extraordinary problem solvers. The courage to act, even when perfection feels out of reach. Decisive action is the engine that drives problem-solving mastery. And when you fuel it with focus, creativity, perspective, and emotional clarity, you become unstoppable. Problems stop being obstacles. They become challenges you eagerly face. Knowing every step forward brings you closer to victory. Point 9. Build emotional resilience to handle any challenge. Here's a truth that's both emotional and transformative. Your ability to handle problems is directly tied to your emotional strength. Life doesn't come with guarantees. Challenges, failures, and setbacks are inevitable. But what separates ordinary people from extraordinary problem solvers is emotional resilience. The ability to stay strong, balanced, and focused even when everything feels chaotic. Think about it. When a problem hits, most people react emotionally. They get frustrated, angry, scared, or hopeless. Their mind clouds over with negative thoughts, and their ability to think clearly disappears. But those who build emotional resilience don't let circumstances dictate their mindset. They feel the emotions, acknowledge them, but don't let them control decisions. They pause, breathe, and approach the problem with clarity and courage. Emotionally, resilience is liberating. It gives you confidence that no matter what comes your way, you can face it and overcome it. It transforms fear into curiosity, stress into focus, and confusion into action. When your emotions are balanced, your mind becomes sharper, your creativity flows, and your solutions become smarter and more effective. Let me share a story. Imagine someone loses a big opportunity, a job, a business deal, or a relationship. Most people would spiral into despair, replaying mistakes and blaming themselves or others. But a resilient problem solver pauses, reflects, and asks, "What can I learn from this? How can I move forward stronger?" That mindset transforms a painful setback into a stepping stone for growth. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen character and sharpen problem-solving skills. Building emotional resilience doesn't happen overnight. It's cultivated through habits, mindful reflection, controlled breathing, positive self-talk, and practicing gratitude even in tough times. Every time you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, you reinforce your emotional muscles. Over time, these muscles grow strong enough to handle bigger problems without fear, panic, or stress. Here's the emotional depth. Life will test you, sometimes brutally, but resilience allows you to face challenges without losing yourself. It reminds you that pain is temporary, lessons are eternal, and your mind has the power to find solutions even in chaos. Every resilient step you take builds your confidence, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your ability to solve future problems faster and smarter. So, when a challenge arises, remind yourself, I may feel overwhelmed, but I am capable. I may feel uncertain, but I will find a way. Emotional resilience is not about avoiding stress. It's about mastering your response to it. And mastering your emotional response is the heart of true problem-solving power. Great problem solvers don't just solve problems with intelligence or logic. They solve them with strength, balance, and an unshakable mindset. Resilience gives you the courage to face challenges repeatedly. Learn from each attempt and keep moving forward until the solution becomes clear. Remember this: problems will always come, but panic and despair are optional. Choose resilience. Choose focus. Choose courage. Every time you do, you empower your mind to find solutions faster, smarter, and with greater confidence. Emotional resilience isn't just a skill. It's a superpower for anyone who wants to master the art of problem solving and navigate life with strength and grace. Point 10. Cultivate a growth mindset to turn every problem into opportunity. Here's the ultimate truth. The most powerful problem solvers don't see problems as obstacles. They see them as opportunities to grow. Life will always throw challenges at you. Some will be small, some enormous. Some will shake your confidence, and some will feel impossible to overcome. But the difference between someone who struggles and someone who excels is mindset. A growth mindset transforms every challenge into a lesson, every setback into a stepping stone, and every failure into fuel for future success. Think about it. When a problem arises, your first instinct might be to complain, to blame, or to feel defeated. But a person with a growth mindset pauses and asks, what is this problem teaching me? How can I become better through this challenge? That single shift in perspective changes everything. It turns frustration into curiosity, fear into courage, and confusion into clarity. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to sharpen skills, expand knowledge, and strengthen character. Emotionally, this is incredibly freeing. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop being afraid of failure. You stop being paralyzed by uncertainty. You begin to welcome challenges because each one carries the chance to learn, improve, and rise higher. The pain of difficulty no longer feels like punishment. It feels like progress in disguise. Let's make it real. Imagine losing a job, missing a promotion, or failing at a personal goal. Most people feel hopeless. But someone with a growth mindset asks, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? They analyze, adapt, and act. That approach often leads to solutions that not only fix the immediate problem but also create long-term success. Great problem solvers combine all the skills we've talked about: calmness under pressure, shifting focus to possibilities, learning from failure, breaking problems into pieces, asking the right questions, thinking creatively, seeing multiple perspectives, taking decisive action, and building emotional resilience. But the unifying thread that ties all of this together is a growth mindset. The belief that every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and better. Here's the emotional core. Life is not happening to you. It is happening for you. Every challenge, every difficulty, every problem is a teacher. And when you approach life with curiosity and courage, your mind transforms. You start seeing solutions where others see dead ends, opportunities where others see walls, and hope where others see despair. So today, make this a commitment. No matter what problem comes your way, embrace it. Learn from it. Grow through it. Train your mind to see obstacles not as enemies, but as invitations to become stronger, smarter, and more capable. That is the mindset of a true problem solver. Someone who doesn't just survive challenges, but thrives through them. And remember, the journey doesn't end here. Every problem you face is a chance to practice these skills, to strengthen your mind, and to expand your capacity for greatness. With every challenge, you become not just a problem solver, but a master of your life, ready to face anything with clarity, courage, and unstoppable determination. Conclusion. So, dear listeners, here's the truth that ties everything together. Problems are not enemies. They are opportunities in disguise. Every challenge you face is a chance to grow, to learn, and to become stronger than you were yesterday. From staying calm under pressure, to seeing problems from multiple perspectives, to thinking creatively, taking decisive action, and cultivating resilience. Every skill we've talked about today is a tool to help you transform obstacles into stepping stones. Remember, great problem solvers are not born, they are made. They train their minds, manage their emotions, embrace failure, and most importantly, they never stop believing in their own growth. The moment you start applying these mind tricks for instant solutions, your mind will begin to see possibilities where others see dead ends, hope where others see despair, and opportunities where others see walls. So, start today. Take one skill, practice it, and watch how your life begins to shift. Every problem you face is an invitation to rise higher, to think smarter, and to become the person you're meant to be. Your challenges are not setbacks. They are setups for your greatest breakthroughs. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mind-Blowing Motive, where we explore ways to unlock your mind, boost your motivation, and transform your life one thought at a time. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, the power to solve any problem lies within you.